By now, we're sure everyone has heard the incredibly sad news about the once celebrated cricketer Ian Chappell retiring from the cricket world altogether. While this news does come as a shock to many, it isn't actually that surprising at all. One thing to note, though, is just how wonderfully the entire cricket world has decided to pay tribute to the commentator and former cricketer before his departure. Here's all you need to know about it. First up, why is Ian Chappell leaving anyway? After his legendary 75-year career as a Test cricketer, including the 30 years where he served as captain of the Australian national cricket team, Ian Chappell moved on to the more media side of things. And as we all know, Chappell started commentating for the sport, becoming one of the most well-known commentators for the sport in the media right now. Just for reference, he has spent nearly a half-century, yes, almost 50 years behind the trusty microphone. And now, he's retiring. The news about the Channel 9 commentator retiring invoked a bittersweet sort of nostalgic sadness in those who've been following his career, and the cricket world as a whole. After all, it's not every day that you see the last member who's still in the chair from Channel 9's famous commentary team, including Richie Benaud, Bill Lawry, and Tony Greig retire. Both Greig and Benaud have passed away, and even Bill Lawry left the old commentary box a good few years ago. And it's not at all surprising that the old man, who has given so much to the sport, finally deserves his retirement. We're all just a little bit, or in some cases, as you'll see, a lot sad to see him go. And this isn't even taking into account how he must feel about hanging the proverbial cap after spending more of his career with Nine's Wide World of Sports. Now, we bet you'd like to hear Chappell's own words about retiring. To the Sydney Morning Herald, Ian Chappell opened up about how he's been thinking of retiring for a while now. The 78-year-old commentator said that he even had a minor stroke a few years ago, which he got lucky with. But it makes everything harder. And concerning that, he said that with all the traveling and walking up the stairs and things like that, he thought it would just get harder. He then revealed what actually made him consider retirement in the first place. Chappell said that he wrote what Rabbits, who's a recently retired rugby league commentator Ray Warren, said in regards to retirement, and it really struck home with him, especially when he read the part about what Warren said, that you're always one sentence closer to making a mistake. This is an unfortunate loss for the cricket universe, as Chappell's known for unabashedly giving his opinions in a forthright manner on everything from the batting technique of some players to the way the sport is governed altogether. He did also talk about how he's been perceived during his time in the box and claimed that it was up to the other people to decide what they thought of him. Some may think he's been alright, some might think he was a prick, and neither bothers him. Finally, on to the tribute the entire cricket world is lovingly giving him. After Chappell's announcements about how he was going to step away from cricket commentary, tons of people from the cricket community poured in their tributes online on social media. Both players, media persons involved, and commentators alike have chimed in with their own messages of support. This included people talking about how Chappell's work inspired them to pursue the cricket field. For example, Twitter user Jeff Lemon Sport claimed that it was a real end of an era with Ian Chappell retiring. They claimed that one of the thrills of their working life was commentating on the Ashes with him on radio, ironically enough, which turned out to be Chappell's last season. They added a screenshot of Chappell's quote and said that was such a Chappelly way to go out. Harsha Bogle, an Indian cricket commentator, also talked about the 78-year-old's retirement on Twitter. He said that Chappell never pulled a punch, told it as it is, never talked down to anyone, was a wonderful professional, and also his own role model for broadcasting work ethic. He talked about what a privilege it was to work with him, and that he hopes that his proud voice is always heard. Here are a few more tweets giving tribute to Ian Chappell. Maris Erling, aka user Erling Sammy on Twitter, talked about how the quartet of commentators will remain unmatched for him, and how they were the reason people fell in love with Channel 9. Alison Mitchell, another commentator widely renowned for her work, also had things to say on Twitter regarding the event. She said that 15 years after the thrill of having Chappelli summarize with her on her first even international commentary with TMS, she found out that she was also involved for his last season of commentary with ABC. She also talked about how he's a total icon of Nine's Wide World of Sport and claimed that she was glad that people will still get to read his forthright columns. We're not done yet, as Sanjay Manjrekar, a former cricketer and an Indian commentator himself, called Chappell his idol, mentor, and his company the greatest blessing he's had as a commentator on his tweet, before wishing him a happy retirement. Paul Atkins on Twitter also tweeted about the sad news about Ian's retirement from commentary and had a few things to say about his cricket career. He called Chappell the best Test captain he's ever seen, and as a pundit, the best summarizer. He admired how Chappell never sat on the fence, and he saluted the commentator for his successful career in both cricket and commentary. Avi Banerjee on Twitter repeated all the same sentiments, but also added how he led the World Series cricket movement. On more prominent figures paying their tribute online, we have Lisa Stalakar, the Seven cricket commentator, who said that when she first wanted to get into commentary, Ian Chappell was extremely kind in sitting down with her and gave him his personal tips of the trade. She said that she certainly wouldn't be where she is now if it wasn't for his help, and how he and the rest of his team shaped cricket broadcast. RK, the sports broadcaster, called Chappell one of the best commentators, and some someone who he has had the privilege of working with. He also commended Chappell for calling the game as he saw it and called him a fantastic human being. He also said that Chappell never complained about anything and put a lot of effort into his commentary, and that showed. For the sake of it, let's just spend a moment talking about Chappell's stats in cricket. He played 75 tests, 49 as captain, and has scored a good 5,345 runs at an average of 42.42, including 14 centuries. Add all that on top of 673 runs in 16 ODI matches and an average of 48.07, that's really good. Now in other related news, Gautam Gambhir is set to play in the second edition of Legends League Cricket. Yes, the former India opening batter Gautam Gambhir confirmed his participation in the upcoming second edition of Legends League Cricket this Friday. Gambhir's credentials speak for themselves, with him being part of two of India's World Cup winning teams back in 2007's T20 World Cup and 2011's 50-over World Cup. The opener represented India in 147 ODIs and 37 T20s, but till now has over 6,000 runs to his name already in limited overs cricket. What did he say? In India's National Cricket League, the IPL, he led the Kolkata Knight Riders team to win 2 IPL seasons in 2012 and 2014 respectively. He announced that he was glad to share that I have committed to take part in the upcoming Legends League Cricket from September 17th onwards, and claims that he was excited because he'd been anticipating being on the field once again. He talked about how playing in the league would be a privilege and an honor to get to rub shoulders with the glitterati of world cricket once again. Australia star Matt Renshaw took one of the greatest catches in Royal London Cup. This great catch was caught on tape for anyone to rewind and watch whenever they please, and trust us when we tell you that there is in fact a lot to make you want to rewind. Cricket fans know the true happiness that becomes you when you witness a great catch taking place live. The ball flew sharply towards the second slip when Renshaw leapt to his left to take a fine catch. This impressive effort led to the team's official handle to tweet about how it was one of the greatest catches you will see in a long time. And that's all for this video. What do you think of Chappell's retirement and the tributes that the cricket world has given him so far? Let us know in the comments down below. If you enjoyed watching the video, be sure to leave a like and share the video. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications by pressing the bell icon to get notified every time we post a new video. And we will see you next time. Thank you for watching.